Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Katalin Oborny, and I am here as the coordinator of the RE-FEM project. So it is my great pleasure to welcome everyone, the presenters from the project partners and the panelists who are going to attend our roundtable discussions. We are going to host quite a long webinar. We will see how long it takes because we are still missing two of our panelists, but we will see how we will proceed. So first, I would like to wish you an enjoyable and very useful webinar. I hope and I wish that you will get useful information, insights, maybe some new connections from this webinar. And I would like to encourage everyone to engage actively in the webinar because we will have Q&A session after each part. So we are going to have a part in which we are presenting the RE-FEM project results. First, you will hear a presentation of the research result from Orsia Gergely from the Sapienza University from Romania, Transylvania. And then we will present you the training manual, which is the second main project output. And the training manual will be introduced by Maria Zletova from Bulgaria, from the research agency for entrepreneurship and innovation. And then our third main output in the project will be introduced by Veronika Brisman-Servilova from the Slovak Business Agency from Slovakia. And then after a very short break, we would like to offer two roundtable discussions. Each of the discussions will be about topics related to women entrepreneurship, of course. Before I give the floor for the first presenter, let me just briefly share a few information about the RE-FEM project. So our project is an Erasmus Plus program project. We are 8 partners in the project from 7 European countries, which is Spain, Finland, Slovakia, Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia, and Hungary. And we started this project by the end of 2022, and we are going to finish by the end of November this year. And our project is about, so it came from the idea that we need to provide some sort of support to women entrepreneurs after the COVID-19. And when we were developing the proposal, we were all full with the COVID-19 crisis and the problems we witnessed and experienced. So that's why we developed this project. And since then, you will, I think, also hear it in the research, in the presentation about the research results. We are witnessing all kind of crises still. And with this project, we would like to support those who are supporting the women entrepreneurs. So this is what we are doing. We are providing materials to trainers, educators, mentors. We have a training manual for those educators who are providing training dedicated for women entrepreneurs. And with our cross-country research, we try to study what are the needs of women entrepreneurs when they are facing crisis situation. And then, as you can see, we have an international networking group through which we are sharing all kind of resources and events and information related to women entrepreneurship and the project activities and results. We also have an open education platform, and all of it can be found on the project website. So the open education platform provides both the trainers, educators, and the women entrepreneurs information and resources related to education and know-how on how to survive crisis situations. The open education platform features the online course as well, on which we will hear the third presentation during the first part. And then in the remaining part of the project, we are going to meet with decision makers, policymakers, because we would like to collect their inputs for a final study, which we will present in September 2025, so in this year. hopefully with useful recommendations for those who are trying to work on a better education for women entrepreneurs. So that was all in a nutshell about the project. And we will start with the first presentation. So I will give the floor, the virtual floor, to Orsolya Gergely to start her presentation. So the first presentation will be about the research result, and you will hear about what we found and what kind of strategies we collected from the women entrepreneurs to overcome their difficulties. Orsolya, you are still unmuted.
Yes, thank you very much, Kata, and welcome everybody to this webinar today. It's a pleasure to me to present our research result, we were collected the data and we implemented the research almost 2 years ago. So the research results are not fresh, but I think a lot of things cannot be, or evergreen problems, so I think are not outdated. So my name is Orsolya Gergely, and I am a sociologist and teaching at the Sapientia Hungarian University of Transylvania from Romania. And 5 years ago, we survived, and we were a part of this pandemic. I think for more than 1.5 years or more. And in 2023, we wanted to ask female women entrepreneurs from these 7 European countries to find out what are their problems, what kind of challenges do they had to overcome during the pandemic, and what kind of needs do they have, what kind of problems do they have to handle with. So this was the main target of our research. I will short present the target numbers we are reached during our research. We used mixed methods. So we first make some semi-structure interviews with experts regarding women entrepreneurship in every country, and we implemented this cross-country survey in every mentioned country. We also managed to have to implement semi-structure in-depth interviews with women entrepreneurs. At this point, I will discuss. I will show the result, some numbers regarding to the survey, but I will mainly discuss some research results regarding to the interviews, to the qualitative research. If we look at the numbers, we see that from every country, lot of women responded to our survey, and from Finland we got the most answers, the bigger number of answers, and we also find out that the 36% of the women entrepreneurs were in their 40s, and 2/3 of them have a tertiary degree, so they are highly qualified, and they have university and college degree, and the same 2/3 have their company as their mainly and only source of income. The most of the women entrepreneurs have full ownership of their companies as well. And almost half of the respondents raised young children and raised young children during the pandemic. And the same 42% have no employees. So these are very small micro entrepreneurs, micro firms, and their turnover, yearly turnover, or less than or so then so they have very small companies, the big part of them. So I will jump to the research results, the qualitative research results, because as I see, I have only 8-9 minutes left, and I want to mainly present or talk a bit about what kind of experts did we find and asked, and what kind of women entrepreneurs did we find with and ask with our interviews. We wanted to have opinions of representatives of women entrepreneurial organizations, representatives of for-profit organizations, individual personals and researchers and educators from higher education and adult education systems, relevant policy makers, decision makers, representatives of the government. And on the other hand, women entrepreneurs being in a vulnerable situation, mainly from rural areas, women entrepreneurs from male-dominated sectors. This was very hard for us to find, and women entrepreneurs from family businesses, women entrepreneurs owning startups, and women entrepreneurs owning medium and large companies. This was the hardest job for us, that to find women entrepreneurs. They have medium or large firms, what these, sorry, I was jumping over the challenges. During these interviews and by analyzing these interviews, we find out that is a very important two parts of the challenges, mainly the COVID challenges, but the COVID challenges were already, even 2 years ago, were already part of the past. The COVID-19 challenges, political, this were challenges by political decisions, public health measures. These were the results of political decisions and public health measures, increased demands for care work because the schools were closed, and all the young children had to be at home, and the mothers were the most important caregivers in this period. So these were a wide range of difficulties, and they had to implement very innovative and creative strategies to be able to work and care for children and family. They were unprepared for this kind of challenges. Their perspective was that we have to survive this one-time historical event, and this had to be end, and after that we will recover. And this was not only economical but personal cost period, that not only economical, but they had to be very engaged to the family and to this family situation, and had to learn and to adapt to this new kind of situation. But in the time we asked these questions, we made the interviews in almost 2 years, 1.5 years ago, we faced that this COVID-19 already part of the past, but the crisis period has not ended. Yes, the COVID, the pandemic ended. There were not more political decisions and no more public health measures, but arrived the inflation, the energy crisis, the shortage of raw material, the increasing production cost, unpredictable price changes, and nevertheless, already the war was begin, and so we named this period a multi-crisis period, because not only a COVID health and economic crisis, but a wide range of crises with. And nobody can tell that this crisis will end when the vaccine or something will arrive. So it's a constantly navigating in an unknown presence and future. Instead of long-term strategies, they have to make short, quick changes and to adapt to the market, and the chaos is ongoing. But somehow we realize that thanks to this COVID period, the women entrepreneurs are somehow more prepared or more used to the crisis period. And what kind of needs do they could we identify? A huge need of mentoring, emerging and very, very high demand for networking. A lot of women entrepreneurs started to develop their digital skills and or trying to digitalize their company's activity. A need for financial support. I know this is not something new, but thanks to the COVID and thanks to the domains and sectors when they operate their activity, they had a bigger and more important need for financial support and a more active role of stakeholders and other NGOs or other persons to involve in articulating their needs, and of course other kind of needs as well. Jumping to the conclusions, we could see that the focus is left the COVID and is more on the multi-crisis. The COVID seems as an entrepreneurial learning in a laboratory conditions. So something good from a bad situation, that somehow this COVID situation was a training period when they could learn to adapt to new and constantly changing periods and economical situations. Clearly, the focus has shifted to the current multi-crisis situation, and the lesson learned during the COVID-19 are constantly being adapted. For example, digitalization, more digital skills development, and so on. Somehow we saw that those women entrepreneurs could survive and come out with a better, came out from this crisis situation with a better firm situation. Those were who could adapt and to learn and to switch somehow to this new economical and geopolitical situation. And women entrepreneurs have become more professionalized through applying these strategies and developing skills to overcoming the difficulties, caused by the COVID-19 and caused by the multi-crisis as well. What were the elements of this process? Reinventing their businesses. A lot of women entrepreneur told us that being first, before the COVID, they were present only or mainly on local market, but because of the COVID, they had to come out and to go to national or international market. Informal and formal communities had a better, more conscious professionalizing, networking. So the women entrepreneurs, because the COVID period, started to be more open to formal and informal communities, and and to invest more time and energy to community building, and social capital is seem to be as important factor in surviving. Yes, what did we learn from this period and from women entrepreneurs? We think that the women-only informal and formal groups are more valuable now than before COVID, and but still, it's a question for us: is the bottom-up group approach becoming more significant because the women entrepreneurs have to compensate for their limited access for public subsidies? What to emphasize when interpreting the COVID-19 or multi-crisis for on women entrepreneurs? So what to focus on, and what are the gender implications of women entrepreneurs successfully adapting to the impact of recent crisis situation? One of our answers is that digitalization is a very important factor, but what are the gender implications in this, since this is a sector where the female women entrepreneurs are underrepresented. So thank you for your attention, and at the end we can discuss about this kind of questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Oshe, for your presentation. So you highlighted this professionalization, that the women entrepreneurs started to professionalize in their activities, and what we also really we could see that part of this was their strategies for learning. So this is what also we witnessed, that they participated in all kind of online trainings and the networking to learn, to become more professionalized in their activities. So this is kind of strengthened us that there is a need for further educational resources. And this is what we are going to show in the next presentation, the training manual, which targets the trainers, educators, and mentors. So Maria, please, the floor is yours, and you can start your presentation. And there will be an opportunity for asking questions the presenters by the end of this section.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share my presentation now. I would like to say good afternoon for everybody participating on this webinar, and I'm really happy to see so many participants with such a high interest on this webinar. Now, as Kata said, we are continuing with the training manual and very short presentation of what we delivered during the project, which actually training manual, we can go on the RE-FEM webpage and to investigate deeper. But here I'm going just to make a short presentation of the document. So what is actually the training manual? Except that this is a very important project result, this is actually an innovative tool that provides a full set of support to the trainers, mentors, and educators on how to train or mentor the women entrepreneurs. It includes a curriculum for development of the training materials, different non-formal methodologies, and of course some good practices that could be used in the trainers and educators work with women entrepreneurs. The first chapter of the manual is actually presenting the main results from the research that you listened from Orsha, with needs and challenges of women entrepreneurs on which we stepped in order to develop this training manual. The second chapter includes 5 training modules I will talk about a little bit later. And in the last chapter, we provide some example of sample training, some good practices, the results from the pilot testing of the training manual. When we started to develop this training manual, we started actually firstly to analyze the task and what we have to do. Very important step in our work was to identify properly the target groups which are going to use the manual. And as it was said in the previous slide, these are mainly experts, trainers, mentors, and educators. And of course, it was very important to know what are the training needs of women entrepreneurs, because at the end, we have to provide some good training and training material oriented and tailored to specific needs of the women entrepreneurs. During this process, we also involved different stakeholders, as you listened from the previous presentation, even during the research phase. After that, having all this knowledge around, we started with designing of the training modules. We listed the skills and knowledge that are suitable for these training modules, defined the main training needs which they could respond, and then we continued with designing of the training materials for the specific trainings. At the end, we wanted to be sure that these modules and materials are very well prepared. That's why we made pilot testing, evaluated the results from the feedback that we received from the participant in this testing phase, and we revised and finalized the training modules and of course the manual itself. This is a very short introduction of what are the main needs and challenges that are faced by women entrepreneurs. You can see all the list of on the left side of the screen. And actually, how we respond to these needs and challenges is actually these 5 modules that are described on the right side. On the first place, this is digital transformation and digital readiness. Second module is access to finance and innovations. Then we go with servitization and innovation, sustainability in the time of crisis, personal resilience and well-being, and gender implication of being a woman entrepreneur. So all these 5 modules are very well described in the document that is uploaded in the project webpage. I'm not going to go deep in every training module. You can go to check and to see how and what is presented. I'm just going to give an overview what is included in modules. We have module description, what kind of topics are included under every module. The objectives, the learning outcomes, methods of learning that we suggest is good to be used when you provide the training to women entrepreneurs. Some links to additional resources that could be useful for your work with women entrepreneurs, different forms of reflection, time needed for implementation of the training. It also includes some useful exercises, examples from different practice and case studies. When we developed the training manual, the partnership was gathered around the idea to step on already knowledge that we gained from different project activities and initiatives. That's why we identified some good practices implemented all over the Europe and not only. We went very deep in these good practices and used best of them when developing the training manual. Here is only the list of the good practice, but if you go in the menu, you can find more details and how they are linked actually and what we used during the development of the menu and the training materials. At the end, as I said, actually in the beginning, we made pilot sessions. We decided to check the quality and the methodology that we suggested to be applied in the training manual. And firstly, we organized Train the Trainers. That was the first pilot session organized in every project country in the period of February to April 2024. We have 89 participants. These participants were educators, trainers, teachers in the universities. So different kind of people, consultants, and even from business environment. We gathered the feedback from them after the training. During the training, actually, they managed to pass all 5 modules. In some countries, 1 or 2, but in other countries, even all of them. And based on the feedback that was received, the partnership managed to improve the menu, improve some content in the materials. And then we started the second pilot session. We attract women entrepreneurs, the final users of the training content. And in the period of April till July 2024, we attract 107 participants who actually also pass through specific trainings and provide their feedback about the quality and of the training materials, as well as the methodologies that were used to deliver the training content to them. Few adjustments were also made. We are very happy that we had very high and very good positive results, and the training was very appreciated by the participants. All the training materials that were developed and tested afterward were further developed and uploaded in the RE-FEM webpage under the Open Education platform. And here is the end of my presentation. It's very short, but you can check again the menu on the webpage, and maybe to give the floor to the next presentation that is related with the Open Education platform. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Maria. We will provide all kind of information, including the access to the training manual in our follow-up email. And of course, you can find everything on the project website as well. So the next output we would like to show is the online course, and it will be presented by Veronika Blisman-Servilova. Veronika, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will start to share my screen. I hope you can hear me properly.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So today I'm really excited to introduce you the RE-FEM online course available on the Open Educational platform, designed to especially to support women entrepreneurs. During my short presentation, I will introduce the online course, its objectives, structure, key functionalities, and demonstrate how it can be used to support women entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial growth. So let's start. As one of the main RE-FEM project outputs, project prepared an open educational platform to improve competencies of women entrepreneurs, especially those who are in vulnerable situations. The platform provides flexible, interactive learning opportunities and focus on enhancing key business skills. It provides dedicated materials for entrepreneurs and trainers, as well as information on grants and funding opportunities, all ensuring that users have access to both educational content, but also the practical support for their business and growth. As you can see on my pictures, it's resources for women entrepreneurs, trainers, also information about grants. You can pick whatever you are interested in. Online course is designed as one of the key tool designed to support women entrepreneurs. Its goal to offer them knowledge, but also practical skills that they need immediately apply in their business. The online course covers several essential areas. As you can see on the slide, the areas includes digital skills, business development, learning skills, innovation, servitization, personal and professional resilience. This course is available in 9 different languages, which makes this course inclusive and accessible to diverse audience. When speaking about the structure of this online course, the course consists of 5 interactive modules. Each module includes quizzes and exercises to help assess knowledge, but it also includes additional resources, practical examples to ensure participants understand the whole key concept. Each module is divided into smaller sections to make learning structured and easy to follow. On the picture on my presentation or on the slide, you can see example of one of the module. I will show you and showcase you later. And you can see that here is some parts and the structure is the same for all the 5 modules. Here you can see that you can download the materials in Word document and also PPT presentation. The module contains a short teaser. It's a short or interesting information about the learning content. Then it's learning content itself. It's the topic that was elaborated. And then some key findings or something the learners should remember. And also the modules contain the self-assessment test I've already mentioned to assess their gained knowledge. From the practical side, we also included success cases that describe some practical information or maybe the stories from the real women entrepreneurs as a practical demonstration within the topic. Then is bibliography and references and related training materials, and also ESCO competencies and skills, which was defined by the EU. And now, how can you access the platform and access the course itself? The platform is fully optimized for mobile devices, so users can learn anytime, anywhere, whether on smartphone, tablet, or computer. We try to design the online course to be practical and inspiring, supporting self-paced learning. And now I'd like to briefly showcase how the platform works and demonstrate some key features. So let me open the website with the Open Educational Platform. I hope you can see the website. This is the homepage of the Open Educational Platform with the RE-FEM online course. You can click and access the course. Here you can select the language, the preferred language, and access the course. Today, I will show you the English modifications. Okay, so here, this is the main page of the RE-FEM online course, and you can see that there is also all the 5 modules with its topics. It's digital transformation and digital readiness, access to finance and innovation, servitization and innovation, also sustainability in times of crisis, and last but not least, personal resilience, well-being, and gender implications of being a woman entrepreneur. Those are our 5 topics, but you can also find on the platform keywords. And those keywords represent specific topics, and you can click on topics you are interested in. For example, you are interested in innovation or servitization. You can click on servitization, and you will be offered by the topic, which includes you will be offered by the module, which includes the selected topic or selected area. So we can start a module. And here is an example of module layout where you can find a navigation panel on the left side and also the whole parts of the module. As I described before, here you can see downloads part, teaser, the content of the learning materials, summing up, self-assessment test, success case, also references, related training materials, ESCO competencies. This navigation panel follows you when you will be scrolling down the learning content. So you can click and easily go to the section or subtopic you are interested in. So here is the first part with the downloading possibility, and you can click and easily download the materials in Word or PPT presentation. When you will be scrolling down, you will explore the learning content. This is the first topic divided into subtopics. You can easily click on navigation panel and go to the another topic, and by scrolling down you can learn all the learning content. Then is the summing up part. The most interesting things or things you should remember at least from the selected topic. Then I would like to show you a self-assessment test. We can start the self-assessment test. You can see how it works or how it looks like. This is the question. You can, as you see, you can click for an answer, and next I'm trying to find a right answer. As you can see, I'm on 5th question from 8, and at the end of the self-assessment test you will be offered by a certificate that will be generated for you as some confirmation that you have learned, or you have accessed this module, and you have completed this module. So this is also the feature that you can get or gain from this online course. Here is also the success case I've mentioned regarding this topic, servitization. It's provided the real company founded by the women entrepreneur that was interviewed and shared with her experience regarding introducing servitization into her business. So from the example from the real life, as you can see, also video with this women entrepreneur, and also success case for the second subtopic, bibliography, references, and related training materials. Here you can find out if in some other modules are also elaborated topics related to this one you just completed. So when we are speaking about servitization and innovation, you can also, if you are interested in those topics, you can also try to access the module 1, digitalization, digital transformation and digital readiness, and also module 2, access the innovation, finance and local international market, which contains maybe the similar kind of informations. The last part of the online course is ESCO competencies and skills. It's competencies and skills defined by the EU Commission, and here you can see in bold, highlighted in bold, those which are enhanced by completing those specific module. So this is the end of the module one of the 5 modules that will be accessible on those online course and online open education platform. And I encourage you to explore the platform and try out our interactive modules and see how can you maybe benefit from these modules. So that would be all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention. I will stop my sharing.
Thank you, Veronica. While you were speaking of the online course, there was a conversation going on in the chat. So I just would like to share again that there will be courses on more languages than English. We are still working on uploading the courses to our website, but there will be courses on Bulgarian, Slovakian, Romanian, Finnish, Swedish, Hungarian, Serbian, and what am I missing? Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes. And all the courses are free because since this is an EU-funded project, so all the courses are freely available. Yes, Spanish too. I just see the question. So these were the introduction of our main project results. So thank you for those who are staying with us still. And now we have a little time for questions. So if any of you have a question, please just enter into the Q&A section. So we will receive your question and I will read the question aloud and we will try our best to answer the questions. Okay, so we are not receiving any questions, maybe for the second part. So now I am announcing that we are going to have a technical break. So we are going to be back at, so this is 47. We are going to back at 52. So 5 minutes break. We are going to have 5 minutes break. This is the second part of the webinar. So I'm just calling the panelists and the moderators back to the webinar. We are going to continue with discussing how to better support women entrepreneurs. And for this, we organized 2 panel discussions. And the first one is going to be led by Orsia Gergely, already presented, so or associate professor from Sapienza University. Orsia research interest, just to say a few words about Orsia. So her research interest includes family sociology, gender equality, entrepreneurship, and recently she added the topic of women in science. And I also would like to share about Orsia that she's a big communication person. She's very active on social media, sharing all kind of information about her homeland and about her research work. And she leads podcast as well at the university. And she is she's regularly writing a women magazine as well. Recently about women in science, working in science fields. And Orsia is also an active member of the civil society in Transylvania, which is connected to the Entrepreneur Association of Women Entrepreneurs. So Orsia, the floor is yours, and please start your discussion with the invited researchers.
Thank you very much, Kata, for this nice presentation. So many things I've heard about myself. Welcome everyone after the recess, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this panel discussion on women entrepreneurs. And we are honored to have with us 2 distinguished experts who could bring or will bring valuable insights from academia and research fields. Unfortunately, as you may heard before, I have to inform you that our third invitee, Paula Rodriguez Modronho from Pablo de Olavide Universidad from Spain. She got a flu and she unfortunately cannot join us today. We wish her recover soon from the illness, and so we have two distinguished panelists. Our first panelist is Dr. Man Yang, an associate professor at the Department of Management and Organization at Hangen School of Economics from Vaasa, Finland. With her extensive research in entrepreneurship and business management, she brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to our discussion today. So welcome. And our next we have Dr. Eva Lena Landgren Henriksson, and another assistant professor at the same department of at Hanken School of Economics. Her expertise in management and organization, along with her academic contribution, make her an essential voice in this conversation as well. So welcome, greetings from Romania to distinguished panelists from Vaasa. I have to tell that 15 years ago, I was once in Finland, and I was attending a conference in Vaasa. So I have nice memories from Vaasa. Thank you very much for accepting this invitation, and I will jump to the first question. Our first question would be: what are the main challenges in applying research findings in women's entrepreneurship? So we have research findings, research results, and we have to face challenges in applying. What do you think about this?
If it's okay, I may start.
Please.
Thank you so much for inviting me. The pleasure is mine. I will first of all start with the challenges regarding of the context, because you are a researcher yourself. You know that first of all, women is a gender, but women are also not a homogeneous group if we talk about women entrepreneurs, because there is difference in the culture, economic, the society we live in or we engage entrepreneurship. So that is very hard to say one solution fits all. Secondly, there is also differences in industry. For example, if a woman entrepreneur in tech industry compared to a women entrepreneur in agriculture, tourism, it also depends on, are we talking about rural areas or areas with fast urbanization? So this has created challenges when we apply our research findings in women entrepreneur, because we have to be very specific about the research context and the practical implications we can provide for that specific research. Then I will also raise a second point. Maybe I will pass the chance to my dear colleague Eva. The other thing is about the accessibility of information and resources, because even within the European Union, depending on the countries, and even within the same country, depending on where you are sitting, the access to findings, to all kinds of resources and also the different regional programs. There is different level of accessibility and information. For example, this project you are running is a very great initiative that you are providing this type of open webinar for those who know about the information to listen to us. But imagine that there is also entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, they are not having this channel, or they are not aware of this opportunity or even language. So this also kind of raised the type of accessibility challenge in applying the research findings in women entrepreneurship. Okay, I will give the speaker to Evelina, and maybe we can come back.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And yes, please, Eva-Lena, what is your opinion regarding to the topic?
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you, Manne, and thank you also to you, Ursula, for inviting us and giving us this opportunity to engage in a very interesting and important discussion, and also maybe to speak a bit about our research that me and Man has been doing together. So I agree with what Man said, and maybe to kind of provide another angle or perspective on it, I was thinking about specifically from our perspective as researcher when we are conducting research on women entrepreneurs, and then in terms of publishing our research results. There might be difficulties in finding the right outlets, and to find outlets, journal outlets that are appreciative and understands the value of this type of research. And I do think that especially today, when we are witnessing, the general development in the world in terms of gender equality that is going down in many countries, especially in a big country, that just got a new president. We don't need to say the name of that country, but you might understand what I want to say. But there are these, policies that are really, unfavorable for gender equality. So I think that's also why it's so important for us right now to do this type of research and to get the findings out. Man was maybe a bit already talking about that, and we also heard that from your very, very nice presentation, that we need then also to create platforms and to create networks where we can share this information and where we can get the entrepreneurs also to join a discussion with researchers, as we are doing maybe here today.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, I see in the same way that we need to have platforms when researchers and those who can benefit from our research results can meet and can share their thoughts. And maybe, yes, this is a dilemma for us, for researchers, that for academic evaluation we need to publish very high elaborated analysis and so on, but for implementation and practical things we need other kind of view and to another kind of approach. So these kind of things, it's always a dilemma for a researcher, what kind of direction to start then to step forward. So thank you very much for your thoughts. And another question: how can researchers ensure that their findings are accessible and actionable for entrepreneurs? What do you think?
Who should start?
You can start, Man.
All right. Since I talk about the accessibility, I think one very important thing we should do is that we need to ensure accessibility through, for instance, open access to publish our research results, and multiple channels and with understandable languages. Because as researchers and academics, we might in turn to use terms or sometimes, sorry to say, academic jargons. So we need to ensure accessibility through multiple channels, and also like a translation of our research language into very understandable practice that is kind of is able to comprehensible by the women entrepreneurs and practitioners. I think it's also very important to engage with the women entrepreneurs and stakeholders so that our research findings are actually very relevant, which is why I really appreciate your earlier presentation, that it seems it's a very good initiative to collect research data on what is really the challenges and barriers of the women entrepreneurs across the countries in this project. Lastly, I also think it's very important to have support systems, because we need someone to walk the talk. Because I can imagine, like, we are all individuals and we would understand the same information differently depending on our own context. And also it is very important that besides the theoretical insights from the research findings, we could really provide the support systems such as the mentorship and training, which it also mentioned from your research findings, that to really support the women entrepreneurs in their business practice in reality. Please, Eva.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Man. Really, really good ideas, and I agree with all of them. Again, I might now maybe apply a bit of another perspective, but I was thinking about that. I think in terms of being a researcher and doing research about women, of course, this context is about entrepreneurship, but also doing gender research in general. I think that we need to have an honest interest and also curiosity towards our research subjects, who they are, what are their stories, and to be very open. And we have done a qualitative study, but to deploy quite, explorative approaches where we can explore different avenues along the way, also together with the research participants, in order to make sure that we also tell their stories in a truthful way. And also what you already said, Man, or you were talking a bit about that, but I think that we need to maybe not always be driven by publishing in terms of our research career, as you Ursula said, but we need to make sure that we also take the opportunity to spread our findings and to talk about the research in different outlets, such as we are doing right now here, but also to create some other external platforms, or to talk about it in media, for example. Because I think we need to remember that we as researchers, we are also part of creating and upholding or changing a certain societal narrative of female entrepreneurs. And we also need to be mindful then about our role, that we are also part of spreading these generalized understandings about what a female entrepreneur is. So, for example, are we talking about them in terms of victim stories, or are we talking about them as heroes? So we have a kind of responsibility to always be also reflective in our discourse and what we are saying also when talking about our research. Yes, I think I can stop there if we have other questions that we should explore.
Thank you so much. You are saying so very, very important things. As a researcher, I can share my experience that I started to as a researcher to analyze the situation of women entrepreneurs for more than 1.5 decades, and it's very important, as I see, it's very important to have a very good relationship with entrepreneurial associations and so on. And if you have a long, strong relation, based on trust. If they ask for a presentation and I ask for a help, it's according to my opinion, it's very important to have such kind of relations, researchers and researched people and relationship. And so if I can, if so, a researcher can present their research results in another way. They are more open and they are more helpful, even in research visibility helping. But I think it's when we are talking about digitalization of the entrepreneurship, I think it's very important the digitalization of research results. So to find platforms, and I don't want to name that TikTok, but platforms where you can present your research ideas, even the ideas, and to be able to communicate with other groups of people who can help you or who can support you. So I think the online platforms are very important in this accessibility and actionability topic, and maybe even co-creation with entrepreneurs. To, if I have an idea, what would be your interest to find out. So I think even designing the research can be started from with their help. So thank you. Sharing experiences on collaboration between academia and business practitioners, entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, what kind of strategies, practices, programs, projects can you name or mention that you have this kind of experiences?
Perhaps Eva, you can start, because Eva has been actively engaging in empirical study of our joint research, and then I can jump in after her input.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, as Man already mentioned, so a couple of years ago, we've been interviewing around 20 female entrepreneurs in Finland from various industries, and our interviews were focused on understanding their stories and kind of how they narratively construct themselves and their entrepreneurial story. So how did it begin? Has the idea always been there from when they were children, or did something happen? For example, the pandemic, it was very prevalent in the interviews, that kind of gave room for them to reflect upon their lives and to make new choices and to embark on another route. And of course, many also said that becoming a mother also changed their views on the world and kind of what they wanted to do with their lives and to embark on this entrepreneurial journey. But so, I mean, we have been, of course, have had that kind of collaboration, of course, in terms of interviewing them. But then we also had a seminar together with Man and also Ann-Sofi, who is here, where we also talked about our findings, and we also correct me now, Man, if I'm wrong, but we also invited many of the respondents to also come there and to take part of our research results. Yeah, so maybe now I'm jumping a bit and maybe going back a bit to the challenges. But sometimes when doing the interviews, I might also I felt that it was a bit difficult sometimes to convince the respondents and the women entrepreneurs that their stories are of value, that there is interest in exploring their experiences. So yes, so maybe that's in terms of collaboration. Yes, Man, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I can continue because Eva has talked about from the research side, but I can also share some of my experience from the education side. Since I teach both undergraduate and graduate students at Hongken, and bear in mind, many of them are also young and very passionate or motivational young women who wants to do something on their own. So I take that as a opportunity to also nurture future women entrepreneurs. Usually in my course, Sustainable Entrepreneurship, I invite women CEO to give guest lecture to talk about their story. And they are like local nearby in Vasa, because Vasa is not really the capital region of Finland. It's more considered rural than urban. So inviting role models to my teaching, and also developing online course that is more accessible through online course. We have a course called Entrepreneurship for Sustainability and Wellbeing in an era of digitalization, where it's a 5-week online course, and each week we have engaged entrepreneur, and actually the majority of them are women's, to have interview or a few videos about their entrepreneurial journey. We also at Hongken has a Hongken Business Lab. And now we are activating also events that is opening for both students and also the public. And actually on the 28th of February, there will be an event related to women entrepreneurs. We have invited 3 women entrepreneurs, and one of them actually sits in the Association of Finland's Women Entrepreneurship Association. So this kind of initiative through the education and also our network, and try to engage business practitioners, women entrepreneurs, or women who are in the leadership role to bridge the academia and business practices.
Can I add a thing? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Manna. I forgot to mention that something that I found really, really important and that I want to emphasize is that, of course, when I get the opportunity to have a platform and to be able to speak to the public and to speak about the research that I'm being involved with, I always try to emphasize or mention the women entrepreneurs and the gendered perspective. And I do think that we need to do that and to always take those opportunities into account, because I see ourselves as researchers as kind of their voice out in the public. So we are their voice in society, and where we are able to kind of show their struggles or to tell their struggles to the public, and also to unravel and also illuminate these gender structures that still exist in society. So, for example, I remember one of the respondents that we interviewed, and she told us that, or she told me that when she goes to these kind of fairs and she's showing her products, she sometimes hears that, okay, you have really, really good products, but it would be interesting to speak more with your boss. So this kind of really stereotypical gendered old structures that are still prevalent. So I think it's our responsibility also to talk about these and to say that they are still prevalent in society.
Thank you very much for this. I think it's very important to realize and to make an inner value that a researcher can be the voice of the people and the problem they are focusing on. So it's very important. And a very interesting thing you mentioned, too, that course. Yes, I have as well 2 courses. One entrepreneurial course and another one women entrepreneurs, and I developed for both online courses. And I always these are 12 or 14 weeks long courses, and in every year or every semester I invite entrepreneurs to these lectures as well, and I give them as task to make interviews with entrepreneurs. And first, the students are very not so happy about the fact that they have to go and find an entrepreneur and make an interview. But after that, when they present at the end of the semester their interviews and their experience, they are happier. And and they all are mentioning that first of all the person who they plan to interview, they are saying, I'm not so interesting, I'm not my story is not interesting. Why do you want to present? Why do you want to make this project about me? And but the end, they are very, very happy that someone interesting about their story, or someone wants to know better their situation. So they are willing to share their experience, but they are not sure that they are so big stories. I think these are these mutual interests. We are open to find their stories, and they are open to find why are they interesting for us, or making these long-term engagements and openness to be willing to help and to be interested, to be curious about our findings as well. So our fourth question: what are the emerging research trends in women entrepreneurship according to you? Because you both mentioned that or all three of us we are engaging in this research dominium, women entrepreneurship. What are the emerging research trends according to you? And
Okay.
I think Man can start, because it's your expertise here.
Okay.
I could say maybe 5 trends. The first one is related to SDG, societal impact. What me and Eva actually have been doing is about women who become sustainable entrepreneurs that would bring impact, not just financial, but also environmental and social. And then the second emerging research trend is due to the technological advancement, so on the digitalization and AI, robotics. The third one, there is related also to the technical advancement, but when the technical advancement is so specific on the digital and AI. But the third one is we call it STEM: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So sometimes it's in the transport or even academia and biotech and all these. And then the fourth trend is related to the social and cultural aspects. For example, the societal norms, the cultural values, the family responsibilities, such as motherhood, as Eva already mentioned in the empirical, the gender roles, our social roles, the gender expectation, this type of social and cultural aspects. And then the fifth one is actually the crisis, including the COVID-19, but beyond it, because now we have so many multiple phases of crisis, all these war and conflicts and all these changing trends of the society, especially creating lots of these tensions and crises, and such as like the role of policy and support systems. I would also kind of shifted in this fifth emerging trend. Because of the time, I'm just briefly talking about these 5. Please add more if you would like to.
Okay, thank you very much. Eva, what is your opinion? Would you larger or the list?
No, I can maybe kind of add to, because Man is the expert in terms of really the theoretical streams and knows exactly what's going on there. But these are maybe kind of my own reflections, but from a more empirically oriented view, I think that, as Man and you also mentioned about the crisis going on, that it also shows the value of doing women entrepreneurship in these times, because their stories and our empirical findings, they say something about the world. It says something about how the world is structured and how we experience the world. And I do think that collecting the stories from especially women who oftentimes maybe come or are placed in the intersection of many evolving crises can provide really in-depth knowledge on the nature of the crisis, but also what is needed in terms of support, I think.
Yeah, I also want to add one more point, that you will probably find more research which is emerging or published recently is more in the context of developing economies or global south. But because I'm Chinese, I was born and raised in China, and I've been living in Finland for more than a decade. Although I see there is a difference in context, there is a difference in the level of gender equality, but still, I would say overall, despite the different societal context or economic development, I think the old order still exists. Because Eva has raised a great example where in Finland, where gender equality is perceived to be really high, but somehow you are still questioned to a female, where is your boss? I think there is still a lot of theorizing or research needed to looking at women across, despite the different economic development, that we also need to know more. So I'm also calling that we need also more research from developed economies. I've talked to a researcher from UK who is researching on mothers who become business owners. And we had such a interesting conversation that she was saying that people would expect the English women were just sitting there and drinking tea, but it's different. Still, there are also vulnerable groups among women, especially those are in the motherhood that is lacking the social support to start or run their own business. So we still need more research despite the economic development and societal context.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great, very important things are articulated by you. And our last questions, and we have a couple of 7 minutes. What do you think? How do you ensure that your research is in line with the needs of interests of women entrepreneurs, or does it have to serve their own interest? What do you think? Eva-Lena already mentioned that their voice, so maybe the second question is not so relevant, but how do you ensure that your research is in line with the needs of women entrepreneurs?
I think we need to ensure that by having continuous dialogue with practitioners and women entrepreneurs, we have to also follow the trends, jumping out of the university, the research or our journals or textbooks. We need to follow the trends, what's really happening, and also facilitating more bridging events that bridge academia and practice.
Thank you, Eva-Lena.
Yes, I thank you so much. I already mentioned the voice thing, and I do kind of believe that, or I think that's for me at least, that's kind of what is driving me in terms of doing research that takes the gendered aspect into account. And of course, as I already mentioned, being very explorative, being very open. Man also said that having a dialogue with them, also inspiring them through the research process to continue with what they're doing, but also that I get inspired and that I also maybe start initiatives, or because we also need in academia, as female researchers, we also need to have networks and supporting networks, and to be inspired also by our research, the context that we are doing research in. And I think that has synergies for everyone in society in that sense.
Totally agree. I think as well that to align research with the needs of women entrepreneurs it is essential to engage directly with them through interviews, surveys, focus groups, and even this kind of workshops we are doing during this project, or in this project, collaborating with women's in business associations and entrepreneurial networks. I think it's a very helpful even for us to see the important points, the trends, and to step up from the universities and to see what kind of needs and challenges do they have to face, and what kind of needs do they have. Thank you, Kata. Thank you very much, Man and Eva, Lena. As I see, we have a couple of minutes, 3, I think, before the closing this panel. If we have questions.
We don't have questions, but we have reflections on it's not really reflection, but it's more than asking how we can see if you can share some of your research results with us. So we would be happy to reshare it through such channels. And there are requests for sharing the project results, sharing the research results, and so we are happy to receive this request. So please just reach out to me or to the project partners of your country, and so we would be happy to connect those who wants to be connected. And also there was some there was some reflection on who are the successful entrepreneurs, if they are study business and entrepreneurships or others, which I think would open up another huge question. So if you would like to reflect on that briefly. So this is the one question I would like to share.
As I see, Man wants to.
It's on chat. We received this reflection on the chat.
Okay. Yeah, I actually have one final point about does our research have to serve the interests of women entrepreneurs? I just have an additional point. Certainly, we have to serve the interest of our women entrepreneurs, but I think we also need to go beyond that, because we are also providing the education and advanced knowledge. So in a sense, we are like a trend setting. We are kind of also a whistleblower. We are also those who can inform policy and support programs. So I think we have to serve their interests, but we also have a duty to be proactive, to make it possible to inform policy, to provide what our women entrepreneurs need before even they realize. That's my final point.
And I can say in terms of the research results, so this is ongoing research, so it's not yet published. So it's kind of ongoing work. But of course, when it will be published, we don't know when, but of course we can share it. But until then, maybe you can follow us on LinkedIn if you want to, where we might, share some insights. What do you say, Man?
Yep.
Okay, so then we will definitely share your contacts with the people who attended this webinar. And I'm sorry to say, but I have to end this panel. But I think we have a really easy job to connect what you have said with the other roundtable discussion, because we already heard so many like suggestions, if we take it as suggestions, how to better support women entrepreneurs. For instance, you were saying on the need for amplifying their voices, or let's do an inclusive, real inclusive research and to involve women entrepreneurs even before starting the interviews as well. And we also learn, and I have to tell that I am always amazed that I am still hearing examples from countries on like these stereotypical thinkings, countries which are ranking higher usually on gender equality indexes. So yes, so it shows that there is a need for this kind of project as well. So thank you for your contribution, and I would like to ask Anne-Sophie if she is with us and ready to start the next panel discussion. But first, I would also like to introduce Anne-Sophie Begran, who is a partner in the RE-FEM project. And well, she is also a huge communication person. So if you would like to learn about rural development, rural resiliency, please follow Anne-Sophie on her LinkedIn channels. And she's also a PhD candidate at the Vasa University and learning or doing research on sustainability marketing. And we have Ivana Radic with us, who is going to have a conversation with Anne-Sophie on how to better support women entrepreneurs. And before I give you the floor, oh no, I just give you the floor because we are running out of time. So Anne-Sophie, the floor is yours. Please introduce your panelist.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me. Yes, I see that the sun is starting to shine even in Finland. So I try to move a little bit here, but let's see. So
another strange thing from Finland.
Yes, it's still some snow outside. Yes. But good afternoon, everybody. From my side also, and many greetings, as I said, from Finland. And also from the Vasa region. Vasa region, I live quite close to the city of Vasa, but on the rural side by the sea. And welcome to this the second panel, and the topic is strengthening support system for women entrepreneurs. And before I will introduce the panelists, I would like to say something about the topic, and perhaps it's more or less from my opinion. I think women entrepreneurship is a key driver of economic growth, innovation, and social development. But however, as you have also heard already, many women entrepreneurs still face unique challenges that require dedicated support structures. And the RE-FEM project has conducted the survey, and you also heard about that. And there, in the survey, it was also highlighted the specific needs of women entrepreneurs, especially when it comes to this mentorship program. They were very highly valued, but still many women struggle to afford them. And there's a strong demand for free and more accessible mentorship opportunities, emphasizing the need for more inclusive and affordable support system. And that's why it's also important to really discuss this topic. And I'm really privileged to have also some experts with me here, although we have also some lack of, also there was some cancellation in the very short time, because also some sickness came out. But I'm really happy to see that Ivana is here. Hello. On the screen, and also Alexandra. So I will start to introduce my two speakers today. I will start with you, Ivana. Sorry also for my pronouncing.
Oh, no, don't worry. My daughter told me that they are telling me that my English is like a Russian English. I said, okay, fine. Everybody understands me.
Okay, that's okay.
Fine.
But I will start with you, Ivana. Ivana Radic, I hope.
Yes, right.
And you are an entrepreneur, but you are also president of the International Network of Business Women in Croatia. And you are also an advisory board member of the RE-FEM Project. So we are really happy to have you on board. And through your network and your company, Present Communications, you have dedicated your more or less career to empowering women in business. And you also have been really instrumental in developing training programs, such as the Small School of Entrepreneurship for Women, which already has educated over 700 inspiring female entrepreneurs. And your focus is on mentorship, education, and creating international collaboration that strengthen women's entrepreneurial opportunities. So I'm really looking forward to hear more about your input. And then we have Alexandra Telepkakova.
It's okay.
Yes. You are a program manager at the Ministry of Labor, Social Affairs and Family of the Slovak Republic. And you are specialized in social innovation and employment policies, working to create systemic solutions that enhance women's participation in the labor market and entrepreneurship. And your experience lies in policy development and supporting initiatives that promote inclusive economic growth. So this was really 2 short introductions of my panelists, but I'm really happy to have you on board. So let's go to the topic, and which was this strengthening support system for women entrepreneurs. And we know all that women entrepreneurs play a crucial role in driving innovation, job creation, and economic growth. But however, this RE-FEM Project survey has shown that many women still face barriers, such as limited access to funding, training, and mentorship. And one key findings was that while mentorship programs are in high demand, many female entrepreneurs struggle to afford them. And this highlights the needs for inclusive, accessible, and sustainable support systems. So my first question to you is, with your experience, how do you think women entrepreneurs, or what is your input to these women entrepreneurs and their needs, dedicated support system and attention from a policy making approach? Why do you think it is important, and how? What kind of this kind of entrepreneurs support system have you touched or want to comment? Would you like to start, Ivana?
Okay, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here. International Network of Business Women is one of the organizations in Croatia, which is trying to start mentorship program. Now we are going to have a program with migrants, because we have collaborated with one organization who is responsible for migrants. So we are going to make some mentorship program. And the second part will be another program for the students. Okay, this is not connected with entrepreneurs, but we have several organizations in Croatia which provide mentorship programs for women. And this is really excellent, because women in the beginning of their businesses, they have the knowledge about something they are going to do, but they don't have a knowledge about how to run company, what to do with taxes, with this and that. They can ask accountants and so on, but at the end, they need to know lots of these things. So the demand for that is really high. for example, this little school of women entrepreneurs in Croatia, we were running that for 5 years, and a lot of these women called me after 2 or 3 years and said, okay, this was something really great for us, this was also for free. So I think the policymakers should be aware of this to make this available for women, because we are, very cautious. We don't spend money. We don't really want loans. We are afraid of that. So these things are specific for women. And the other hand, somebody who knows, want to share knowledge, I think we just have to match them. And so my suggestion maybe would be to policymakers, just make us some space, or give us some, I don't know, just space, or somebody who will collect all these women all together, and we will match them. And this will be, a good point.
Thank you. And you, Alexandra, what is your experience? Do women entrepreneurs need dedicated support programs and attentions from policymakers, and why?
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to this panel. I'm very happy to be here. To kind of look at the issue, we are as a person who is in the Ministry of Labor, Social Affairs and Family, we're looking at the policies, as well as we're also trying to very closely monitor the status quo that is happening in the society. To give the answer to your question, yes, it is absolutely necessary to support women, and to whenever we have these kinds of discussions, we also look very much at the acceptance and confidence of women when it comes to their promotion, their outlook on issues. We have very much tried to emphasize and provide guidance or any sort of support that we can to really push for women to be the entrepreneurs, to provide other and we are also looking at the other aspects, such as the work-life family balance, that is absolutely necessary. So it's a very broad topic that has a lot in it, where we're trying to very slowly to try to see all the tweaks that are necessary for the topic to be to kind of come together as a one whole thing. So it's a little puzzles that create the little impact, but in the long run they do help. So we've seen the initiatives, we've seen the empowerment of women in the society, which I'm very, very honestly happy about. We are slowly trying to build the confidence and work on the perceptions. What I can say is that Slovakia has had a female president, which has been a little shift in the mind of the thinking of people, so these societal changes do impact us heavily. And we also do see it on a policy level when we're looking at the campaigns that we're going to run on how to actually empower women.
Thank you. I will go on with the next question. What are the most critical needs of women entrepreneurs for business success? What do you think? Is it about funding, training, mentorship, or combination of all things? This is just for some example, but these critical needs, what do you think of them?
Well, as someone who, I hope I'm online.
Yes.
So I am doing coaching for women. This is what I do for a living. And I was always surprised how women always need somebody who will tell them what to do. Okay, I cannot run their businesses, but I can say, okay, this looks okay. Maybe we can do something here, and this is not much possible. So for me, as somebody who is doing a lot with women, I would say we need support. And we need all of these things in trainings and mentorship and funding, everything. But we need always somebody or some organization where we can thrive. For example, my organization has WhatsApp group. We have, I don't know, thousands and thousands of messages because women like to ask, maybe you know somebody who can help me with this or with that. I would like to share this or that. So this is like a support group for women. And this is very important for us because you can do lots of things alone, but when you are in some company, you can do more. So I would say the first thing about women is we have a lack of confidence in ourselves. So this is the first thing I try to fix somehow. Then we can go and see what is wrong with your businesses. Why don't you try? Why don't you succeed as you want? But the solution is always here inside of me. So this is my mission, and this is the mission of our organization. I think the support in any form is very crucial for women, because we are always asking, are we good enough? Is this good enough? Am I, and this would be the first thing I think we have to deal with. Confidence and then support. Then I after that we can do whatever you can imagine.
Thank you. What do you think, Alexandra, from your aspect when it comes to this critical needs of women entrepreneurs for business success?
Like I have mentioned, I think it's a little of a game of a puzzles where we need to kind of tackle, like the family life, the business side, like then these unexpected ins and outs that come with actually running the business are key to change, to drive. We have seen incredible little successful businesses in Slovakia that are led by women. We have seen I've seen incredible women entrepreneurs in Slovakia who were very passionate about their topic, about their expertise that they actually work in. It's the perseverance of women that is actually astonishing in how much they can actually achieve with how little sometimes they have available to them. It's not only when it comes to resources like money, like the financial drive, but as much as Ivana has mentioned, the actual self-confidence that is coming to shine through the successes and the little steps that women take to actually build themselves up rather than to kind of stay, maybe to be at the side and just kind of watch and contribute from a little bit of a background and from a little bit from further down, further away. Sorry. Yeah, we kind of very much look also at the kind of the issue of provision of care for little children, and it's also very much a tied issue to the perception of women in society as such. So the primary caregiver, what does this role look like? How does it shift when the child reaches a certain age? How can the system actually be beneficial for women? So all these kinds of aspects do actually play a massive role in providing and creating an excellent environment for women to thrive. What I can share at the ministry currently within the social innovation area, we have actually just closed, but it's a very, very new thing. It's a pilot where we're trying to kind of to boost the social innovation in Slovakia. And we have opened the call, which is now closed, unfortunately, for if anyone would want to join. But we are trying to gather all kind of initiatives within social innovation in Slovakia to kind of to boost the environment, but not only the new, for example, innovative ideas, but also we think that it's very much it's very important to be inspired by something. So we also do look very much on, and we promote also the inspiration from abroad to be brought to from abroad to be brought to Slovakia. So these are kind of the aspects that we are working on when it comes to social innovation, women, employment. Very much like everything is tied. But yeah, I hope I provided an answer for your question.
Yes,
I would
thank you.
like to add
Yes,
something. And we have one event we are doing during the whole year. It was 3 times or 4 times. It is called Inspire Her. This is for women who want to be inspired, of course. But after 3 of these events, we have decided to contact men, because men can also inspire us. And what have I concluded after 10 years of women support and our organization is that we cannot speak women to women, woman to woman. We have to speak together with men, because we live in their world. So if we want to make some changes, we have to, collaborate with them. This is something I have concluded after all of this time, because when we stick all together like women, we understand each other, but we don't live in the women's world. So we have to make some change, make some shift in our head, and collaborate with everybody. But okay, to have support with women, okay, fine, but we have to adjust on somehow. So this is something I wanted to say, because there is a lot of women here. Just think about that.
yes. I'm a little bit curious. Do you have also some best practice how to do it?
Well, just
Yeah.
invite them to participate, and then they say, "Oh, this was great, very good." And it is very empowering when you find out what they really struggle with, also, and what they think about women. Of course, this is the main question for them. What do you think about women entrepreneurship? And they will tell you what they think we should do, because this is a great input for us. We can make some changes. They sometimes they say, you have to be more direct. Okay, thank you, because this is a good input. So just invite them, because they like to be in our company, and they can share some of their struggles, so we can be aware that we are not the one who are facing some challenges. They're also facing lots of challenges.
Do you want to add something, Alexandra, or should we take the next question?
I can absolutely add something to this discussion, because what Ivana is saying is very, very insightful. For what I can add is that so in my work in my portfolio, I'm working in social innovation and employability and long-term employment and problems like that. But by my background, by education, by academia, I did study sociology, political science, and gender equality within that. And where I went quite deep on was foreign affairs and diplomacy and women and their position in there. And to me, it's fascinating how all these little worlds that we can call them, like women entrepreneurs, women diplomats, we can see the impact that the aspect of being seen by men is absolutely critical. It's not about being unnecessarily maybe building fake confidence, but it's actually providing an insightful and impactful support. And sometimes, even like Ivana mentioned, the criticism that if you, for example, maybe a person is a shy person, they can build their confidence little by little, step by step, and only these little things can actually impact them. So find these even though they look absolutely nothing like these little areas of the world that we live in, there is an absolute clash and of the problems that women face.
Yes, thank you for your contribution. I will take the next question here on my list. What do you think? What successful strategies exist for fostering women's entrepreneurship at the local, regional, and national level? And I'm a little bit curious about especially your experience. Some initiatives, you also mentioned some already, or projects and even best practices. Who wants to start? Alexander, would you like to start from your
Yes.
more successful strategies for this fostering women entrepreneurship when we talk about also these 3 levels?
Yeah. So
you know more the national level, but
yeah.
Please.
Yeah, that's just exactly where I wanted to add that I'm going to be looking at probably more from the national level. So as I have mentioned, within social innovation and the ministry in Slovakia, we're taking several steps in order to improve the situation as such, even though sometimes it's not female specific oriented call that we write out. We do definitely encourage all sorts of projects and activities that can be applied and can improve societal aspects in Slovakia. We are also currently working very closely on it's a very early stage project where we want to look at the change of the perception of the position of women in employment. We do very heavily look on how we can make their position on the labor market a lot stronger when it comes to so what we know is that women are extremely educated. We know that we know that they're very they do attend universities. They pass them with flying colors. They're amazing doctors, entrepreneurs, and everything. But sometimes things like maternity leave, which in Slovakia is up to 3 years per child, do sometimes cause a little bit of a struggle on the labor market. So to kind of provide the flexible working environment and to support that as a provision of care, through provision of care, or maybe even the flexible working hours, which we're currently working on changing the perception of, are the steps that we're taking. So it's either the aspects of changing the perceptions or actual policies that can shift the labor market and societal switches.
Thank you so much, Ivana. What do you think about these successful strategies for fostering women entrepreneurship?
Well, when you ask today in Croatia, what do you think about women entrepreneurship? Most people will say, "Come on, what do you want? This is the same." Even lots of women say there is no difference. There is no difference between women who are leading companies or men who are leading companies. I don't agree because we are different and it should be different. So Croatia has a really bad demographic chart, and the state is doing something. They are trying to do something to push women into lots of children and so on. So I don't think this is going to be on some way good for women because they will, we had some strategy in capital city that women who has more than 3 children, they don't have to work. They will be paid by the city, and this was very stressful, and this was not taken very good in Croatia, because this was only the measure for the capital city. And the second thing is women, they don't like, we all want to be equal, and if you are a woman who has 3 children and you have a company and you work and you think this is great. And then you have another woman who has 3 children and she's doing nothing except these children, nothing. Then we have comparison. And for women, comparison is not good. So this measure was abolished. And now I think we have to do some push to the government, although they made some changes. So we have maternity leave 1 year, men can do maternity leave instead of women, and there are some measures, they're not bad. And on the other hand, the capital city is building new kindergartens, which is also very well. So there are some measures in Croatia. Some how do you say this, municipalities, they provide kindergarten, some donations, some financial assets for women who have more than 2 or 3 children, and this is okay. But you know, when you have all of this and then it is finished, then women are on the street again, on the street, yes, because you gain some financial assets, and you have your kid who is now 3 years old, and what now? What will happen with you? Are you going to have a job or not? These things should be carefully seen, and then make some measures, some strategies how to involve women more. What I like is when women are going to the maternity leave, they stay connected with their work, not every day, but sometimes, just to see what is happening. Because after 1 year, when you come, everything is changed. Maybe you can be involved in something just to be like you catching up something, so you have some infos what is happening in your company where you work. So this would be some of my suggestions, for example, that women should be involved part-time, 1 hour per week or something, to be included in their work if possible, so that they have some kind of follow-up. They're not excluded from everything. It will be very hard for them to come again on that work and say, okay, I know what happened. Can you tell me in 1 year what happened? So it is better to be connected. This is something I would suggest, for example.
Thank you. In the world today, we are talking about a lot of building partnerships. So I'm thinking, what do you think about how governments and for example, the private sector and NGOs better can collaborate to support women entrepreneurs, or are they living in their own bubbles? Governments are doing something, NGOs are doing something, and the private sector is doing something. How can they better collaborate, and what can they perhaps do? And do you have any good examples already from this type of partnership collaboration? What do you think? We start with you, Alexandra, on the national level.
Yes, absolutely we can. Given the current state of position of women in Slovakia, what I have to stress is the flexibility aspects. We are working on it heavily on the national level to kind of introduce and make it a standard to be flexible with women who have especially little children, to be more open to the fact that, yeah, it's okay to work only on 60% contract, if that's what is feasible for you. It's important, like Ivana has mentioned, for women to, if that's what they want, because this is, I think, the important part when it comes to gender equality, is if a woman wants to go back to work, we have to fully support her. If for example, her aim is to care for her children, and she finds a great fulfillment in that, and is a is a caregiver in what she inspires, is also our duty to provide the best opportunities for her to thrive in that situation. So to kind of find the balance, and also to not to be afraid of the change. So I think that we have to look at the fact that sometimes people change their opinions. Maybe I don't want to do this, and then I want to do that. And it comes very much into entrepreneurial area as well, to switch the aspects of businesses, to look at how it may be a scary step to all of a sudden be a female owner of the business, but to build the confidence, to find the flexibility, to find the little villages, what we can call them, the little lands of positive enforcement, is quite a unique and important aspect that we can only try to implement through the policies, but it's also very much a collaboration between the NGOs, the public sector, and the state. So we can do the best that we can, but it's a collaboratory, very labor-intensive work where we're trying to include women, and them taking a step and saying, yes, we are here, and we're here fully to support to create new businesses, because it's very much also a push for a change in the business side. What if there is a woman who has a brilliant idea? She has about 3 hours of free time, and she creates something that is absolutely spectacular. And these kinds of ideas and changes are what push the business side, the push the social change, and this is where we focus on.
What do you think, Ivana, from your aspect
Well,
about collaboration, government,
yes,
sector, and NGOs?
Yes, I can only say from my perspective in Croatia. So the government is busy with some other things, and we all entrepreneurs were in one big bucket, and men and women, and we all say, just leave us alone. For the government, leave us alone. Just stop making this huge taxes. Do something, and something has been done. Okay, fine, this is good, but collaboration with government is sometimes very hard. It's hard because if you are going from the role women entrepreneurship, come on, what do you women want? You always something want. Nobody knows what you want, and so on. So we should be in one bigger organization all together and push the government, because all the organizations are not that big to make some change. On the other hand, entrepreneurship in Croatia is on how to say, very negatively spoken about it. We are some kind of thieves. We have big cars, and we have big houses on the sea, and so on. This is not reality, but this negativism is so we have to change narrative. This is I think Alexandra told about perception narrative. This is something very important, and this is going to last. Lots of initiatives are open, and we have collaborated with different organizations. It always comes at the end to the person who is leading the organization, and if the person is like assertive and wants to collaborate, she will find, or he will find another organization, and you will do something. But at the national level, if you can change something, change. If you cannot, just leave it. This is at the end, you are doing what you can do. What you can't, you just can't.
Thank you. I'm seeing the time is running up, but I still have some question. I would like the next to hear. What do you think about the role of these incubators and accelerators and such mentorship programs? Are they really helping women to build more sustainable businesses, or what is your experience of this role of the incubators and accelerators and such drivers? Ivana, would you like to perhaps?
Well, I think this is great. We have a lot of them, and they are doing fine. They have lots of entrepreneurs in these incubators, and I think this is a really excellent push, not only for women but for all entrepreneurs. So I would say excellent for that and for mentorship. We also have in Croatia mentorship program. It is called Centor. This is organization for the transfer of companies. Like mother and father have the company, and then son is going to inherit all of this. So how to do it? And this is good. This is okay. There are special programs for women. This is also okay. So I would say accelerators, incubators, and we also have on a national level at one government organization, we have a mentorship program. And this is absolutely fantastic because more than 500 entrepreneurs were mentored by mentors. So this is really excellent, and it is going to be another round this year. I think they will have, I don't know, more than 1,000 applies, but okay, something is happening, and this is good. I would say this is good and this is excellent.
Thank you. Do you have any comments about incubators and accelerators, Alexandra?
It's a very much an issue that we're dealing with as such in social innovation, to kind of boost, to give the confidence to provide the support as is needed. So we are very much looking forward to all the successful and impactful projects that we are currently going to implement within the transfer of knowledge, either from abroad or from different regions in Slovakia. And given through the incubators, accelerators, or any other activity that can actually boost the business aspect and improve position of women, I think it's absolutely excellent, and we definitely need to focus on that and share and work on spreading the knowledge and of the word, and encourage women that they're very good at what they're doing, and they can, if they want, they can flourish as much as they can.
Thank you. Do we have any Katalin from the or would you like to raise a question, the last, or comment?
No, we don't have any question received under the Q&A section, but there was a lot of like saying goodbye within the chat, and it's not surprising. Women have to leave for performing their duties, family duties. But I would like to say that listening to you, I think many of us we are strengthened in our belief that if we would like to support women entrepreneurs, we need to support their communities and the NGOs. So it's something I think we can agree on, that if we would like to reflect on what needs women entrepreneurs have to have from the governments, from the states, it's not only that because we often speak about boosting their self-confidence, but it's also the communities, the NGOs, the associations, or the networks who are taking care. So this was a kind of a message. I would like to thank you for you, and also would like to thank you for the participation of the other panelists and for the attendees, because we are still people who are with us. So thank you for being with us till the very end of the webinar. The webinar is recorded, and as I promised, we will share all kind of resources, information in a follow-up email. So this is the end of the webinar. I would like to wish you a wonderful day, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
also.
thank
you very much. Thank you very much to everyone.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you also, and Sophie, for you to leading this last panel session as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and goodbye to everyone.